Support post. Of course, we all know what the support posts are on our deck, and it's very important that I start with this here because naturally everything goes up. And if your support system is not good, then nothing else is good. So that's why this is very, very important. So let's look at our support post here. Like I said, we got some silly ones here, and you're going to love this one. Look at this right here. So we got my post, and it's sitting on this pier. Now, it's a 4x4 post. It's and the pier's not much bigger, and they literally half missed the post or the pier, and so when you see this, it looks bad. It really does. But honestly, in this particular case, it's enough pier that your deck's not going to fall as long as it's attached, the post to the concrete pier. Here's my concrete pier, my post, and you can't see the attachment, but you want these two attached together so as it holds. So it's not like the end of the world, but it definitely, if you hired somebody and they did this, I'd be having them redo it. That's what plumb bobs are for. We'll talk more about plumb bobs. And now, here is one that I like to share with you because this has got a sheathing going around the post. And it literally is deteriorated. You can see some deterioration. Well, some of this deterioration actually is being caused, for a multitude of things, but some of this here is coming from the chemicals and the nitrogen and such that they've been using on the grass. And it literally has taken it and made it so as it started deteriorating. Now, that's just on the casing of it. It's not on the post itself yet. We'll talk more about, you see it's not sitting on any kind, you can't see any piering or anything, but we'll move into the next one here. We'll talk more about that as we go along. But that's just something that happens, if your posts are too close to the ground and you got like aluminum sheathing or vinyl sheathing, the same thing. And so they want to make sure that's taken care of. Oh, now we're looking up underneath the deck part of it. And what I wanted to share with you, these posts right in through here. And these posts, now this one here has got the most exposed concrete. Code normally goes in the Midwest. So I want to make sure it's clear because I know a lot of you folks are all over the country looking at this and you're going to, so give me feedback. Wherever you're at, whatever your codes are, hey, please post it on the remarks ends of this because that helps other people learn also. But in our area in the Midwest, you want your piers, this concrete right here, to be 6 to 8 inches above grade, above the ground because of snow. We want to make sure, and you're going to see kind of what happens if you don't keep it up and above the ground, but snow starts deteriorating and causes trouble. Now, if you're like in the southern states, you might not be so much worried about the snow so much, but maybe river flooding or whatever, flash flooding, whatever zone you're in, but you want to make sure we just don't leave them on the ground. That used to be common, but we don't want to do that. We have found out the hard way, this is not good. So we'll make sure we take care of that. Now let's move on down here. Let's look some more here, see what we got. So here you go. Perfect example. See, now they put this post down here, this like a base to it. And what has happened here, which is a good idea, they temporarily did this, and it was a good idea, but what they did is the moisture had already started getting up inside of my post. And what they did is they cut that post off where they can slide this 2x up underneath it. And you could tell the difference because of this 2x material that's going around it. You can see it's it's texture. You can also see that they tried to paint it. They tried to blend it together. Great idea, but the deterioration had already occurred. But trouble is, wood on wood, is not going, it still wicks. And so you still got some moisture issues that are happening. So, but you really don't want to put wood on wood. There's other types of systems out there, metal systems that get some, really what you want, folks. You want to have something that's not going to wick up through it. And you want to make sure that you have something that lets air underneath it. So see how this rotted? That if they would have had something to let that dry, that probably could have stopped that problem from happening. So this is what you're looking for, and you'll see why later. Oh, some of these are just hilarious, what you're going to see. Oh, here you go. Here's one right down in here. Now, what they've done here is they literally have been banked around it gravel, which looks nice. It's under a deck. It's really quite common. But you can see my metal post anchor right here starting to deteriorate naturally because it's holding moisture. They got the weed barrier around it. But, it's not near as bad as some of them out there. But what happens is this right here, eventually, if it starts to deteriorate, you're going to get a kick out of this one. We call this the thumb test. No kidding. I just made that up. We don't have it. But you actually, if you could stick your finger in there like this, I got videos on this too, so you got to go check some of the videos out. But yeah, look how deep. And honestly, in this particular one, I could have stuck my whole hand up underneath there, but I was afraid that if I continued to stick my hand and fingers up underneath there, I was going to just totally wipe out the bottom of the post. So this is what happens when they get deteriorated to the point of no return. And what they've done, you can see they've actually tried to put a paint or a coating around that. Folks, if you're buying a house and you see that they got this kind of a coating, we're going to talk about this on some of the other slides too, on the other components. But that's usually when they paint something, that's when you're doing your inspections, this is where you double check. This is where you go deeper, because people don't actually ever do anything extra just for the fun of it. They never, and normally what they're trying to do is hide it, because there's all kinds of other kinds of sealant out there. And so when you see this, and that was a dead giveaway right there. So I started snooping a little bit harder on that one. So you want to make sure it passes the thumb test, the finger test. Ain't that funny? That's just crazy. Here you go. Now here's one that has been sitting on the pier. See, my concrete pier looks good post, my anchor's up above. But you can see now this particular anchor did not have a place for air to get up underneath it. And so when snow got up and sat around it, now you've got other better pictures of some of the other ones that I got here, but it started deteriorating out our post. Now naturally, that's not holding much up when it's like that, but you're going to think about holding stuff up. You're going to get a kick out of some of this here. Let's get on down here to some of these others here. And all right, so here you go. I love this one. So I think what they did with this post here, they stuck it in the hole, they watered it, thinking it's going to make the deck grow. I don't know, but it didn't work. It didn't get any taller, but look at that. What the heck, man? They literally got sitting in water. Now, for one, it's not good, honestly. It's not good to stick your concrete. If they're going to fill that of concrete, some of the folks, you're going to give me some comments, and I know you're going to say, hey, Troy, it just rained before they had a chance to pour the concrete around it. Okay, but still, you don't want concrete around your post because it's that wicking. Concrete is porous. We talk about it on lots of our different programs and shows, and so it's still not fixing anything. But when I did the video on it, I teased about how they thought they was making it grow. But you're going to love this one because the next one's even better. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay, so right here, look at this one here. That didn't even grow deep enough to have roots to get inside of the post, to the ground. That's just hanging up there. What? Okay, I'm just going to say, wow, that's all we can say about that. You just can't make some of this up. But yep, that's just air underneath there. No water, no nothing, and just hanging right there. I think what they got in that bottle right there is probably not water, you think? Oh, anyway, that's just funny. Let's get on down here to the next one. Okay, so my next post here, my next one here. So this is actually on what they've done is they put this is sitting on this. No, it's beside the garage, and they got a deck up above this, and you don't see that. And they got this wing wall right here, and this is all really great. But what I'm showing here is, for number one, this wing wall, there is no piering underneath it, so it's just this brick retaining wall, and it's sitting on my driveway. And it's probably sitting on, well, if it's a modern driveway, 6 to 8 inches thick concrete. That is not 30 to 32 inches, which is code for us. Up north, for depth of piering, you want your piers to be 36, some parts of the country 48 inches, and of course the further south we get. And it also depends on the type of soil, but whatever your codes call for, that's what you want. No matter if it's sitting on this wing wall or not, that's not going to hold it. That's not and what will happen, which I've seen this countless times, my brick will start cracking and it'll start falling and coming apart on you. So that's not a good thing to see have happen. So it's not, it may look pretty, but it's really not going to fix the problem here. So now what I'm showing here is this is my level. And I'm wanting, people ask me, how much can we be out of plumb? Plumb, what's that mean? That's where it's plumb, how plumb something is how absolute straight up and down it is. And in this case, this was a 4-foot level. And with my 4-foot level, you got approximately 1/4 of an inch. Now think about this. If I'm 4 foot, I'm 1/4 inch out, which is really in 4 foot, you know, that's, as you can see, it's pretty minor. But if you take it up 8 foot, because and that was because it's going to continue, well then now I got it 1/2 inch. I take it up, if it's a big tall deck, it could be a 12 foot up off the ground, 16 foot. Well, as you can see, the higher it goes, the more it's out of plumb. So then it's no longer, it definitely has reached a place, you know, when you reach up to this level of being out of plumb, that it's no longer safe. The reason you want something plumb is you want to direct your load from the top to the bottom, and a straight line down to it is what gives us our strength. When you teeter it off to the side, you get it out of plumb, then you're losing some of your structural integrity. And when you get too much, well, you know, naturally it's going to fall. And we see it all the time. So my next one right here, now this one's a good one right here, because what I'm trying to show you here is this right here. This is a neat idea. This is a metal post, and I see this quite a bit that people do. Really great idea. They got it setting into concrete, and everything looks pretty good. And this is my electrical right here. What they've done is they've run this electrical box down, and they run wires down and through my post down and through here. And I guess they're going to put an outlet or something into it someday. But as it is right now, that is not a weather-tight box. And so any kind of moisture and stuff is getting inside of there. And you see the rust up underneath here? That's showing you water's getting inside of it. So that is a problem. Right now, it's not gotten to the place of being compromised, but it's definitely something. Okay, if you're going to have electrical out there, whether it be an outlet or a switch or anything, put it in a weather-tight box. That's very important. No matter what part of the country or the world you're in, you got to do that. So, so we move on down here. And this is on support posts, and this is really one of my favorite pictures. And actually, I shot this one at my office. And these doves, and see the whole family of doves, got the mama and the babies. I thought that. So at this time of the year, Deck Awareness Month, got to remember, we get our birds nesting in there, and they love to get up in these little spots like this. And you do whatever you want, but I can't kill them. I just have to put the project off until they leave. I know, my wife gets so mad at me. But how we normally like to see that is, if you don't want the beautiful birds to be nesting there, just put your little wire net around this or something. You know, a little fencing, a little wire, a little chicken wire or something, so they can't get into it. But if you're like me, I love to watch them. So, you know, it's Deck Awareness Month. It's also bird season month. Hey, folks, you ever have any questions, give us a call. Galloway Building Services. We'd love to help you. And hey, if you like our videos, hit like and subscribe. Share with your friends. The more we can share with other people, the more that, you can help. For one, it shows that you know what you're doing, and it helps everybody out there learn more about how to be safe and how not to get ripped off. Well, thanks, folks. Appreciate you watching our videos, and my blessings to you all.